Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and it's the weekly reading for the week of September the 9th to the 15th. Your cards this week, Taurus, we have an Oracle card, Lemuria, which is about creating heaven on earth. We have the Three of Cups with the Devil, we have the King of Cups with the Six of Swords, and we have the Four of Swords with the High Priestess here. So, yeah, look, with your Oracle card here, Taurus, let's just start with that. Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. So I'm going to read that out to you, but I do feel like it's more of a metaphor in this particular reading. So, creating heaven on earth, it's happening. Lemuria is one of Earth's lost lands, where heaven really was a place on earth. A time before we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. In Lemuria, life worked in harmony. All things were seen as equal, and we were deeply reverent to Mother Earth. We knew that a mosquito was no worse than us, and the sun no better. Perhaps you too believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. Perhaps you are part of the transition team who are at soul level are devoted to creating this harmony on the planet now. I really feel that, in your recent past, Taurus, maybe you really feel like in your home life, work life, whatever the situation relates to, that you were in Lemuria, you were in a happy situation that was almost a bit too good to be true, and it really felt like, heaven to you. But I feel like there has been a situation over time for some of you that, really, I see heaven and hell in this reading, so there's no other way to really say it. But yeah, that has been really challenging and dark for you. So, we sort of have both in the reading here. We have heaven, we have hell with the devil, and we have the High Priestess as well, who has been to hell and back. So I really feel like this situation is about a happy situation that has taken a darker turn, and you're really wanting to obviously return back to that happy place. And this reading is about that transition. So I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing in the cards here, and I'm going to start with the King of the Cups and the Devil. So what I'm strongly feeling from this reading, and the first thing that I heard, is that you may be dealing with somebody who has either a problem with alcohol or has just been going through a period of drinking too much. And it could also, the energies are vice versa here, Taurus, so it could be you as well. I know you're a Taurus, you like your, sensual pleasures. Maybe you've been doing a bit too much partying or a bit too much eating and drinking, a bit too much celebrating. Because the King of Cups and Devil combination can be, heavy drinking or, too much of the fine stuff, really, too much wine, too much of the alcohol. And from, we know that when we're overindulging and overdoing alcohol, that we can become ungrounded and leave. We can lose control of our emotional stability and grounding. I really am hearing that nursery rhyme. When you're good, you're really good, and when you're bad, you're terrible. That either relates to you or this other person. So I feel like whoever that this relates to, when this person is in their normal, sober state, they are amazing. And maybe the situation is like heaven, but when they go overboard or when they drink too much, then it's completely the opposite. And there is a real change in their personality type. Maybe they become aggressive verbally, maybe even physically. But that's what I'm really seeing in this combination. It has that switch from heaven to hell, that kind of situation. The King of Cups is about somebody who, should be emotionally grounded, somebody who can normally be in the emotional waters and sit firmly on this throne, this concrete throne. But, this person is getting, thrown off this by when they go into this other realm. I'm sensing alcohol. Look, it might not be that. It might be something else that's a trigger for them changing their dynamic. And yeah, that obviously creates a really toxic situation for you and something that's really draining to be around. But of course, this person is normally really great. So, you are in some kind of partner. Yeah, I'm seeing relationship, but it could be a business partnership as well. There is some kind of link between you that is like a codependency. So it could be a relationship or a business partnership. But, you're hanging in there because this person is normally great. However, if the times where they're in this other state and they're triggered or they're drinking too much or that kind of thing, if that's happening too much, then obviously that that balance can tip, and some of you might be getting to the point where you're wondering how much longer you can stay in it for. That's what I'm sensing. And the chains or the shackles of the situation are loose enough for you to free yourself, but obviously you have to be ready to want to do that. And I feel like this person might be quite charismatic. They might be really loving normally, and you're sort of drawn in by that. It's almost like a hypnotism. When they're good, they're really good, really, really good, and when they're bad, they're terrible. That's just what I'm hearing here with that, going between heaven and hell. So next up, we'll go with the Three of Cups and the Four of Swords. So what I'm really sensing is just, one too many celebrations here. Or you might be dealing with somebody who is always looking for an excuse to celebrate as a reason to overconsume, food, drugs, alcohol, that kind of thing. Maybe it's really just, Friday night's a good time to celebrate, a good job at work, reason to celebrate, and everything's a reason to kind of maybe drink too much. And that is just strongly what I'm sensing in this reading. So, potentially you are noticing that, really this person is maybe just using that as an excuse. I think you're starting to see that, and that they're really kind of using that as a crutch. And I really think that you are in this Four of Swords energy where you're really just wanting some time out from the situation to figure it all out. And in the Four of Swords, we see the Three Swords here as well. That links to that Three of Swords heartache energy. So I think it's getting to the stage where it's causing you some pain. If this person is, overindulging and everything, it's often likely that when they're in that state that they're not really directing much attention your way, because it is another state of being quite self-consumed. And I think it's had a toll on you, on the partnership, the situation, the relationship. And, there has been some pain experienced. There's been some wounds, and I think you've had some issues kind of coming to terms with that. So I really feel like you're in that position where you really feel like you want to take some time out. Maybe you're already in that mode, or maybe just mentally you have kind of started to retract your energy from that person, because you're trying to get together a game plan of what you're going to do. Maybe some of you have confronted this person about their behavior. Maybe they just, I strongly sense that they will probably deny it. I'm just having a good time, just partying, that's all good, it's all under control. And, I don't think you believe that. So you're really, taking this time to formulate your battle plan. Do you stay? Do you go? Do you have a bit of an intervention with this person? I'm not too sure, because I don't really know the scale of it in your life. But, this is a person yourself that's taking some time out, but you still have a battle sword here. So it tells me that, you still have enough left in the tank, enough energy to work out the situation and to battle through it. And, it might be you helping that person fight their battle with that energy there. So future position here, High Priestess and the Six of Swords. So look, High Priestess, she has that real link to heaven and hell. She has been to hell and back. She actually got cast into hell and she spent some time there, and then she came back to the the physical realm, and she has that understanding of what it's like to really go through the darkness, to be under the spell of the devil. So this is how you may feel. You may feel that you've literally been in that hell realm, and you're really sort of wanting to come back from that now, and you're really trying to figure out what the next move is. The High Priestess can also be the energy of revealing a secret. Maybe it's possible that this person has kept this behavior or drinking problem or overindulgence problem, whatever it is, from you, and it's just coming to light now. Or you're just seeing the scope of it. You're seeing the magnitude of it, and that it wasn't just about the party, it wasn't just about the celebration. There is actually something more to it. Maybe it's a crutch for now. Maybe it is even heading into addiction territory. The High Priestess really brings that to light for you, so you can decide what you want to do. The High Priestess is also, really calls you to tune into your instincts and your intuition, because deep down, whatever your gut is telling you, your guts, your head, your heart, is telling you about the situation is right. So if you've sort of had that that instinct, that gut feeling that there's a bit more to the situation, or it's a bit more serious than what you thought, I think that that intuition, you should listen to it. And we have that cross with the Six of Swords here. So look, Six of Swords is about making a necessary rite of passage. It can be moving on from the situation, or it can be transitioning the situation into a place that's calmer and less turbulent. Because it's likely, if you are dealing with someone who's been drinking too much, that when they're in that state, there is, arguments, there's tumultuous emotions and that kind of thing. And I really feel that you're at a stage where you've had enough of this situation. Some of you may choose to leave it. Here we have two people that are in a bit of a state of despair or grief at having to move on from this situation because they didn't really want to, but unfortunately they couldn't really carry on in that situation. They could see that it wasn't going to change, so they're making a necessary rite of passage to a calmer place for them. If you are deciding to do that, you must really try to release the past, release the situation, and not carry the baggage represented by the swords here with you, so that you can carry on with an empty vessel. It may be symbolic of you helping this person either get help, or just helping them, if it's not too serious, helping them see that maybe they have an issue and working through that together, so that you can together in your relationship, your partnership, move on to a much better place, more peace between you, and also this person can have more peace with themselves. So Taurus, that's what I have for your reading. I know it's a really specific one, but that is strongly what I was feeling. So it may not resonate with many of you, but it will for those who it's meant for. And feel free to leave me a comment, because I'd like to know, how this is playing out in your daily life. And I think that's everything. I'll see you again next week for another reading. Thanks, Taurus.